Hi everyone, welcome to this week's weekly quick tip. And today we're going to talk more about resumes. I know a lot of times there's this discussion of, well, what do I do if I have too much for my resume? And for some students, we have actually the inverse problem where I don't have work experience. So what do I have to contribute? So we're going to put that fear to rest today by talking about what you can do to enhance your resume if you don't have work experience. So as we know, a resume is supposed to be a solid one page, right? And a lot of times students automatically assume, well, I have to have work experience to fill that. But there's tons of other things that you can have on your resume that you may not even realize is that important. And this is particularly true for freshmen and sophomores who maybe don't have a lot of directly relevant experience, no internship yet, but they still have a lot they could offer, particularly for like an on-campus position or a part-time job, evenings and weekends. So when you need to fill space, some other sections that you could think about including maybe volunteer experience, community involvement, particularly if you are involved with, a local service organization or religious organization. Maybe you provide, you know, babysitting services here and there, um, or volunteer, EMT or firefighter, things like that. That can really add a lot to your resume. Campus involvement, by the same token, can add a lot, even if it's not directly related to what you're applying for. And again, if you're a first year student or a sophomore, you can go back and look at your time in high school. What were you involved with then? Did you play a sport in high school? Were you involved in, um, any kind of club or organization? Um, and again, some schools have a graduation requirement of service in the community. So maybe that's something we can pull into your resume. Research and class projects, again, thinking a little outside the box. What are some things that I've done in class that I really enjoyed and got a lot out of, that built a lot of skills that I'll need? Honors, scholarships, related courses, things that will really make you stand out. Everybody gets the Stafford loan, everyone gets the Pell Grant, sure, but what's something that maybe Albright gave you that's really unique, or something that maybe you got in high school? Are you a Gold Award or an Eagle Scout? What are some things that you can really use to show off what makes you special? Of course, having a professional summary. What are the things that you want an employer to know about you right off the bat? Without putting it in the context of, I got it from this particular experience, like we do with our other bullet points. But I want you to know that I have, skills with Adobe and Microsoft Office. I want you to know that I went through conflict resolution training. What are the quick things that you want an employer to see right off the bat? And then, of course, some other options if are really, concerned about how it will look. We can always adjust, the spacings. Do we add a space between each individual experience? Um, Adjusting your margins instead of using narrow, maybe we use the full 1 inch. Even your font can make a difference. Some fonts are just a hair bigger than others, or maybe we do 12 instead of 11. Just to make it look a little bit more full and robust. And we can, as I mentioned before, include information from high school if, one, it's really extraordinary, or it's more recent for you. So for our first year students and for our sophomores, that's something you can easily pull from. So to give you some examples, here we have school and service activities. So this would be for someone who's maybe a first year student. So we can see they have one experience from Albright, but then also their high school information. They were in their French club in high school. They played basketball in high school. They volunteered. So using, that school experience, that service experience to really emphasize, these are the skills that I gained, even if it wasn't from a work professional setting. Here's an example of summary of qualities. personal summary, summary of qualifications, whatever you want to call it. Um, but outstanding communication skills, ability to meet deadlines, creative problem solving, things that I want you to see about me right off the bat that can show you how well I match what you're looking for. Relevant coursework. A lot of times you'll see students just kind of list it, try to cram as much as they can into 1 or 2 lines. But again, if we're trying to fill in space and still make it look nice, this is a way that we can really, emphasize these are the classes I've taken. It fills up a little more space that way, and that's okay. And then academic projects, how to include your research or your class projects in, again, highlighting those skills in your bullet points, even though they aren't directly related to a job that you've had in the past. And you're probably thinking, well, that's all well and good, but I don't know what it looks like all put together. So here is one of our sample resumes, so you can find on our website. And I want you to see there is no work experience on here. We have an objective, education, research, campus involvement, and skills, but nowhere does it have actual work experience, whether it's, a part-time job, an internship, something, really relevant to what they're doing. It's not on there, but we still made it look really full. We have the 1-inch margins, again, to kind of take in the space a little bit. We have a bigger font size. We've really spelled out everything. We could have made the courses, in that double column, but in this particular case, we didn't have to. But just so you can see that, yes, it is possible you can have a resume without work experience. If you aren't sure how to put your resume together, or if you're feeling frustrated because you can't think of anything that you want to include, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to help you. Take care. Have a great week.